Hi everybody, I'm Jacob Mangley. Today we're talking Ducktales. Woohoo! Episode 1 of the reboot. And I have been waiting for this for over a year. Ever since they announced it. I have just been pumped. Every art piece, every little clip they released, especially the trailer, which I watched at least a dozen times, and that's probably downplaying it. I have been waiting for this for so long and been so worried that what if my hype doesn't live up to it? I have loved the Duckverse ever since I read Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck in high school. I have been waiting for this, hoping to God it's every bit as good as I hoped. And there are a lot of things to give me faith. The fact that story editor Frank Andrones made Life and Times required reading for the cast and writers. The fact that most of the writers come from Gravity Falls and Frank himself comes from Wander Over Yonder, a show that I really liked what I saw of it and thought was really good and really abused by Disney. I'm proud to say my faith was 100% warranted. Ducktales, woohoo, is fucking awesome. The art is gorgeous. The voice acting cast, which I was already excited about, delivers as much as you'd expect. And the story is utterly great with a great twist at the end. Now, if you haven't seen Woohoo, go seek it out some way and come back. As you can tell from the opening, it's 100% worth seeing, and I don't want to spoil it, but I do in these vlogs I'm going to do for the series talk about the episodes in full. Okay, you seen it? Let's go. Okay, starting with the elephant in the room, the ending. Della Duck is actually relevant. How relevant is she? I actually remember her name now. Della Dumbella Duck. That was an actual nickname. I mean, she showed up in Life and Times briefly, but that's about all her notable appearances in the U.S. And, the Dutch did explain what happened to her and even gave her a nice pilot outfit, but other than that, she pretty much vanished, never to be seen again in most appearances. Here, she's actually part of the plot. What happened to her? What's the Spear of Selena? Is Magician Dispel evolved? God, I hope so, but why do Donald and Scrooge blame each other? Do they blame each other? Does Scrooge just blame himself? Why'd he give up adventuring? And does he have extra hats? There's so many questions, and I'm eager to dive into them. I was already intrigued by Donald and Scrooge's rift and thought it was a good plot device. Again, pulling on Life and Times, which I will review at some point. It's a fucking masterpiece and deserves recognition. And even if it has a few flaws, it's still overall one of my favorite comics of all time, and I think all you Duck fans deserve to hear about it. But I'm not here to talk about Life and Times except in the context of this episode. I am pumped for this myth arc, and now I've got the big part everyone wants to talk about out of the way. Like how awesome it is that Della's an actual character, not just a plot device or cool design. The fact that this is, again, really intriguing and offers opportunities for awesome flashbacks and for the boys to possibly get their mother back. Is she dead? Is she trapped in the moon? Again, we'll find out, but yeah, it was a fucking awesome twist. It was the cherry on an already awesome sundae. The plot here was great. A little crunched, with basically being two separate episodes seen as one plot, when really part two, while it follows up directly, is basically Dewey trying to prove himself, has a little webby subplot. So while it is like a two-parter, it feels like two separate plots that are just linked by the ending of the first one. That being said, both plots were awesome. The joke comedy was incredibly on point. Like, there were just a lot of great jokes. Like, Dewey rolling on the car lid, like rolling from one side of the car and back into it over the lid while Donald and Scrooge are arguing. I mean, lying. It's the responsible thing to do. And my personal favorite is just about anything with Glomgold. From him just outright admitting he steals other people's work in the employee training video, to him going, I'm more Scottish than him. I'm wearing a kilt, MacDuck. A kilt! Just, that line killed me. Like, I just love that concept. That, like the comics, he's an Afrikaner, but he's pretending to be Scottish solely because of his inferiority complex towards Scrooge. Scrooge's line about him was also gold. He's the poor man's version of me. Which, to be fair, makes him extremely rich. Dave Tennant and Tony Alcimo, along with Keith Ferguson as Glomgold, were really the VIPs of the episode. Don't get me wrong, Ben Schwartz, Danny Pudi, the lovely, talented, and amazing, and beautiful Kate Masucci. Bobby Moynihan talks, I'm not pronouncing her last name, so I don't want to mangle it horribly, and she was a really great. Beck Bennett. I can name voice actors all day, but all of them turned in a good performance. However, Dave Tennant just nailed Scrooge. And I've heard Alan Young's Scrooge. He's the Scrooge I grew up with. When I saw him on House of Mouse, like I saw a million other things. As you'll probably find out if I do a list of characters I want to see on the show, which I plan to. Alan Young was great, and despite not being Scottish himself, pulled off the accent perfectly. Dave Tennant does his own take and is smart in just making the character his own instead of trying to mimic Young. But he does so beautifully. Just he gets the role perfectly. But yeah, Dave Tennant really just owns the shit out of this role. Like, he is Scrooge through and through. And character-wise, with the writing, really good. I like the little replica of his arc from the last issue of Life and Times of Scrooge McDuck they did. Scrooge is retired, something clearly horrible went down with his family. I mean, the triplets' mother's missing after all. He meets some of them for the first time, is kind of an ass to them, then one of them questions him. He goes out to prove himself, and instead of fighting the Beagle Boys, he fights a ghost riding a headless man horse, which itself was a really great gag. Just, I am not a freak anymore, thank you. Like, that was really the show at its most I want to be Gravity Falls mode, and I had no issue with that. But yeah, just a great character. And I look forward to seeing just what caused him to become so bitter, as well as see him get back in the saddle, as well as also see him be who Scrooge is, hilariously petty about money, hilariously cheap, which was another gag. While it was crueler cheap than usual, I like the whole, he's given you marbles to play with. Return them at the end of he expects them back at the end of the day. We've counted them. I just fully expect the full spectrum of Scrooge, and we already got a bit of it. I also just love how his personality's there. Like, he ziplines, he's like, sure, if you want to do it the easy way, and he's really obvious with, like, why wouldn't you? Work smarter, not harder. Which has been used by a bunch of idiots to justify giving their employees impossible demands, but with Scrooge, he truly means it. Don't take shortcuts that are, horrible or lackadaisical in your work, but if you can take a shortcut that's safer or inefficient, while not sacrificing anything, why wouldn't you? And part of why I love Scrooge as a character. He's a brilliant businessman who works hard, a daring adventurer, and one of the smartest people in every bit of this episode shows that. And now we're on to Donald. Since I'm talking about the characters, why not do them one at a time? One at a time. One at a time. But yeah, Donald is the other VIP of the episode. My God, Tony out. However you pronounce his last name, he acts the shit out of this. Like, just, despite having a duck voice, he still makes Donald a three-dimensional character. Who's just has everything you want from both versions of Donald. He has the comics badassness and not wanting to go along with Scrooge and being an everyman who works a lot of shitty jobs. But he also has the cartoon's rage, anger, and hilarity. And boasts butt monkey status as my friend Emma put it, the only person more unlucky than Donald Duck is Peter Parker. That is 100% accurate. Donald's life is a giant shit show half the time. I mean, in this one, luckily, despite him and Scrooge falling out, Scrooge is so far treating him a lot better. But we'll see. But in the comics, like, you had to deal with Gladstone. If you don't know who that is, good. Gladstone is a giant asshole. He is as lucky as Donald is as unlucky and constantly tries to steal his girl. And Daisy is a horrible person who treats Donald like shit in the majority of shorts. I will grant you, she is a lot better in House of Mouse than the Three Musketeers movie. Like, when they actually flesh out her personality, she's fine. It's just in shorts, both the ones I grew up with on House of Mouse and the classic shorts, she's a giant bitch. And I'm only looking forward to her appearance in the series, despite shipping Donald with just about anyone else, because I do have faith in these people to flesh her out as a character and make her actually likable like other shows have. Yeah. But yeah, Donald's great. I also like the human element. Like, instead of being a sometimes lazy guy who asks Scrooge for money or has to work crap jobs for him, here he just wants a job wherever he can get it and is just trying to support his nephews. Instead of being trade of, oh, he has nephews, and that's a thing financially. Instead, he actually struggles, and that's incredibly relatable. It's a hard economic time. As someone on the lower middle class these days, I can relate. It's just a rough time, and it relates to fits the current times just as much as it did back in the 30s when Karl Barks made him this way. Just, Donald was just great, and the scene where he goes, it's the Spear of Selene all over again. Well, your standard playing the pronoun game sort of thing, where he'll mention an incident, but he won't say, oh, well, this is my sister all over again. You know, something that'll give away the plot. Flappity flappity. Just needed a refresher because that was rough. And the whole Delos also adds weight to his character. He lost his sister. He's overprotective. But he's also just a great character, and I look forward to seeing him actually in a starring role for once. Tony Anselmo really hasn't had a chance to flex his muscle as Donald. I've seen a few where he's played a good sad Donald and whatnot. I'm not saying he hasn't gotten to have an emotional range over 30 goddamn years. I'm just saying that, in all honesty, it's just, he just hasn't had a role where he's really starred as Donald. Ducktales, due to being early in his career, kind of wrote Donald out of it, which is good. We got Launchpad, and we later got him in Darkwing, and he's still here, and he's a pilot. I'm just saying it's good to see Donald in the spotlight. Since I just mentioned him, I love Launchpad. I've always loved the character of Launchpad on both shows. He's fucking hilarious, and Beck Bennett is a perfect successor to his previous voice actor. who I'm ashamed to say I don't know, but did a great job. Beck makes it his own, and I like how there is actually a good reason to have him and Donald. Donald, due to the way the plot's going, hates Scrooge. Like, he just utterly loathes him right now. And while he's willing to work with him because he knows he's good for the kids and they're a good influence on him and he can help take care of them while he tries to find another job, and he gave him his house, it's clear there's still a lot of tension there. With Launchpad, even when Scrooge is treating him like shit at the beginning of the episode, he still idolizes Scrooge as much as he ever did, and it's a nice contrast that, just like the nephews, he loves Scrooge. Well, he loves everybody. He's everybody's friend. That was a great line. As was the instructions of, I'm a pilot, followed by just one of the best payoffs. Since when is Launchpad a pilot? Also, like, he was kind of on the fringes of this episode, but that's kind of where he needed to be. This episode is about Donald, the nephews, Webby, and Scrooge, the main characters. And Beakley to a degree. Beakley stole the show, but it was about setting up the rest of the main cast. Launchpad will likely get a spotlight episode as we go on, and I seriously doubt they're going to keep him to the fringes forever. Plus, I'm pretty sure Donald's not going to go on every adventure, same with Beakley. I do think the nephews and Webby are, but that's because that's the kind of show it is. And of course, Scrooge, since he's the one leading the thing, they're just going to swap out who's on the side, and I'm not even sure if every nephew's going to be in every adventure, or at least prominent. That was also something they showed off with the second half of the episode. Speaking of which, why don't we start the triplet talk with Huey? Wait a minute. We can also start it with the fact that they're actual characters. As I think I said in the earlier part of this video, they're actual characters. Like, that's a good idea. Like, Quack Pack, for all its many failings I can tell just from the theme song and my distinct lack of interest in it, though I do like the idea of Donald and Daisy working in news and her having an obnoxious rival. That's interesting. That's something I wish they'd brought back for this series. But I think had enough. But I think that actually having them have different styles and personalities is a good idea. And they did it, like, subtly. Like, they took, like, Huey, in addition to adding a nice little collar to his shirt, fancy up the design, has the classic design, just with, the collared shirt. Dewey also has a collared shirt, but also has kind of Ben Schwartz haircut. Seriously, every character he has that haircut. Well, John Ralphio didn't have it in every appearance. He still has that haircut most of the time. Like, that isn't just as distinctive as Ben Schwartz's voice. And then Louie has a hoodie. But yeah, let's talk about Dewey since he is the most prominent. He wants to prove himself. He's the middle kid. He's a mischievous ball of fire, and he's also the closest to the nephew's classic personality. Like, they all still have their troublemaking. He's just the closest to the troublemaking rabble-rouser kid they all were. It's also clever and smart as a whip. Now, some think, he's going to be the only one in on the myth arc, but I don't think that's true. I think he's just going to be the only one in on it at first, with maybe Webby. And I do ship that even if the show doesn't, but I also respect the show for not doing any shipping. They're 10. I don't mind doing it because I love toy ships and it's adorable. As long as you don't draw sex stuff. No, they're kids. No kid sex. No. Please, God, no. I'm still no. No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. But yeah, I'm glad for once there isn't any overt possibility of incest shipping. There's with the Disney afternoon links, which are really nice. And trust me, after going at Gravity Falls and Loud House, where for some goddamn reason they do that shit, not in the show itself, just some of the fans, it's refreshing to have a show where that's probably not going to happen. Probably. I mean, there are three brothers, but just please no. Refer to the song, no. But now to get back on topic, they're adorable together. And I like Dewey / Webby. Like the clip with the crazy lady with the scimitar, who I'm pretty sure is Goldie. I'm calling it now. I don't care if I'm wrong. That's what I'm calling. From the promos, I just like them together. They have the closest personalities and enough differences. I can also ship her just about any of them except Louie. I'm already shipping him and Goslin. Yes, I'm shipping ducks. Turn away! But yeah, Dewey was pretty good. He was just also kind of an asshole. Like the tripping through lasers thing was kind of funny, as was the aftermath. Sure, if you want to do it the easy way. Ben Schwartz is always hilarious. And as I said, the little bit of him rolling on top of the car was fucking in comedy gold. I just think that they do need to tone down the Leroy Jenkins part. But I also think that's character development. He's going to develop into an actual competent adventurer. And he does have genuine competence and saves the day without feeling contrived. I just wish they waited to have a spotlight episode outside of the pilot and gave all the twins, the triplets, a chance to shine. Like, Webby also got a lot of focus in the first half setting up her character, but it didn't feel like it overshadowed everyone else the way. But I also am not too upset about it, given that Huey and Louie will probably get spotlight episodes soon enough. I do hope Huey gets more, because Daniel Pudi, while I loved him from Community, is just a treat here, just as the geekier of them, with his sea shanties, road snacks, and he's just fucking adorable. Not much to say, since he didn't really get to do much. They did get one of my favorite lines of the episode, where Webby just, in a very adorable moment, asks, "Are we friends now?" And his just reaction of, "If we say yes, will you let us live?" Just love that kid. Louie is just Bobby Moynihan, just fucking hilarious. Like, he's pretty good on We Bare Bears, but here he just does good as just kind of the jackass of the group. Like, the evil triplet gag, despite having watched the trailer a dozen times, not quite as funny as the first time you hear it, but it's still funny. Just this agreeable meh. His stealing, is putting stuff on. Like, all the characters were extremely fleshed out and everything. Yeah, and the honorary fourth triplet, Webby was great. I just love her character backstory, being kind of sheltered and wanting friends and finally finding them in the boys. It's just really sweet. And as I kind of embarrassingly established earlier, I fucking love Kate Nasucci. She's beautiful, talented, great singer, just great everything. She's great on Steven Universe, but Sadie was barely around. They kind of shoved the Lars plotline and, by the same token, Sadie to the side for a while. Hopefully this current plot of Steven Universe will give her more to do, but thankfully Ducktales in the meantime is giving her an actual starring role where she actually gets to show her comedic chops. Webby was a highlight for the first half. She didn't do as much in the second, but given the amount of focus she got in the first half, and I also like that she's there to give exposition to the boys about the various stuff in the world of the Ducks. It's nice. Beakley, last but certainly not least of the main characters, is great. I already get people's Brock Sampson comparisons. She's a tough nanny who takes care of a bunch of reckless boys. And they all have a vat of clones lying around this time, so she really needs to be careful. And her throwing the pin, but she's also just hilarious. Talks Uncle was great. Just her, I'm not your secretary, but she's also good at Scrooge's conscience. And there's also a thing going on between her and Donald. Yes, I'm shipping Donald with a duck old enough to be his mother. It's not weird. So moving on. It's like she and Donald have a past friendship. I like that she and Scrooge have kind of a repertoire where he respects her and she knows where to call him in. And I also just like the ending scene where not only does she just confront Webby, how much did you, when did you catch on? Right away, immediately. But also the fact that she understands why she lied, just asked her nicely to be honest with her, and admits outright that she's loyal to Scrooge. I like that she's kind of in the middle. She's smart enough to call Scrooge on his bullshit, but she's also there to tell Donald to be friends with Donald and everything on that side. But she'll also, in the real but this time, she'll still go to the ends of the earth for Scrooge and knows that despite being kind of a rough and tumble asshole, he really does care about the people he loves. And finally, Glomgold, who's not a main character but will definitely be back, Keith Ferguson, who I also did not know was blue. Like, that is awesome. Like, as I said earlier, he's just one of the highlights of this episode. Just almost everything out of Glomgold's mouth is hilarious. Like, he's still threatening enough, but since I don't think he's going to be the main threat of the show, more than just a recurring menace, I think he's right there. He's just a goofy antagonist for them to overcome. I think making him fat was a good clue. Like, yours truly. I think that was a good idea. It's making him incredibly overweight so he actually looks different more than just Scrooge in a kilt with a beard. I mean, Scrooge has a beard, but like not a bushy, full-on Dumbledore beard. And story-wise, as I said, it was excellent. I like how it follows the life and times of Scrooge McDuck a bit. It's a bit bisected. And humor-wise, he's quotable as fuck. I've quoted it a few times in this review, and I probably will again. And I can't wait for more in the next episode. So, yeah, this review's gone long enough. Or vlog. Vlog review. Overall, the pilot's great. It only shows potential for more. And and I mean more. Like, the references to St. Canard, Spoonerville, and Cape Suzette all suggest episodes. And they've already confirmed Darkwing Duck episode, and at the very least, villains from Tailspin are going to show up. Oh, Tailspin, didn't watch much Tailspin, but I love the theme song. Seriously, Disney Afternoon had the best theme songs. If they remake any of these shows fully based off Ducktales, they really should do what they did here. Like, I think the intro's okay for the 2017 one. I mean, music-wise. Animation-wise, it's perfect, especially when I found out it's all references to Carl Barks paintings, just including Webby and Bettina in it. But it's still just... But the theme song, well, Felicia Barton isn't bad. She's just not quite as good as the original. But that's because the original is just stunningly iconic and cheesily 80s, while it's had to be updated for the 2010s. Can't compete. But yeah, there's really not any complaints that are minor. This was hilarious, action-packed. The action is pretty good. You don't think the climactic fight with Glomgold's henchmen could have been a bit more than just a little antics with the kids. But it did at least make some sense. They were the best of the cheapest, as Glomgold put it. But I do hope Gabby McStabberson shows up, both because sexual tension with Donald. I mean, she doesn't treat him any worse than Daisy does. Plus, she's just a great character, and it's not like you can't have enough henchmen. I doubt she'll be stupid enough to work for Glomgold again, but with Mark Beeks, the Beagle Boys, and the dozens of millionaires from the comics they could bring in, or millionaire Vanderbucks from the original series, something I hope they do. And like they could bring in Roger Duck at some point. Rocker Duck. Still getting used to that. I always thought it was Roger Duck. I guess I got him confused. John T. Roger Duck. I thought I got with Gold Roger. Gold D. Roger. I am weird. But yeah, overall, fantastic. If you haven't seen it by the end of this video and you're not convinced, go. Trust me, it's worth it. I cannot wait for next month, and while I have way more content planned in the meantime, I'll see you Duck fans in a month for the next vlog, or hopefully sooner for a review of Life and Times. Like and subscribe if you like this and want to see more videos. And until next time, courage.